Okay, let's try and do 6 times the charm. Because this is the recording 5, take 6, and let's hope that Windows 11 is going to be stable enough to enable this thing. So, uh, if these things continue, and if we continue to have the recording, I know what the problem is. And the problem is that for the some reason, Windows 11 and Opera browser do not support multimedia completely. I switched to Chrome. Chrome is the bloatware, but apparently Chrome works.
That's also news.
Yes, so you be quiet. You are running on ARM, so your computer is actually efficient.
Working properly.
But I think that Windows switching to ARM is one of the things that actually helped a lot, because they actually had to rewrite the spaghetti code that Windows is right now.
No, I don't think they did. They just recompiled it, I think.
But it cannot be that it's only this. But let's roll the intro, and then I'll introduce you to the theme of the episode.
Please introduce me because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's start with the thing that I want to discuss at the start of the episode. When we are talking about the Windows, and you said that they recompiled it and whatever, um, there was, I'm going to say, a pretty interesting article about Windows start menu being an actual a native React project inside the, so a native React project compiled inside Windows. Or to
Okay.
put it into layman's terms, a start menu is basically an application done in something completely different than the entirety of the rest of the code for the Windows. And I must say that it shows.
Why?
Because this would explain a lot about what is happening with the search features and so on.
Okay, now you got my interest.
Yes, so basically, when I'm thinking about Windows and the problems that we have with the way that Windows is working and everything else that is happening on the Windows side, we always say that we think that search is something that is separate from the rest of the Windows.
Okay.
Now we know it is.
How?
So, because it is a React application in the world of C++ applications, that is the rest of the Windows.
And
So,
which requires internet connection to work properly.
yes, this is one of the things. And the other thing was that when I was reading this article, there was a funny comment below it that said that the next thing is going to be that Windows is just going to turn into a Linux kernel running React applications all the way up. But I think that the world is prepared for Node.js Windows. Anyways, now we got here.
What the hell did you eat or drink today? Please tell me. What was it?
No. I'm strictly eating healthy last couple of days, and it shows. But what I wanted to talk to you about is, I think that we should talk about a little bit of philosophical thing. And when I introduced the team to you, you said that this has zero
Relationship to
connectivity to
IT.
relation to your IT, but I think that it has a lot. So my idea was that uh, we are going into the future where being a middle class would not be a financial thing, but would rather be a thing about critical thinking. So I
Okay.
think that people would be stratified by their ability to critically think, to understand AI, to be able to work with AI, and to actually make progress while using AI. Because right now, uh, education is kind of sort of a thing that sooner or later pushes people into the middle class. So they create some sort of income. This income becomes something that is working for them, so they can actually afford different things, and they become middle class. Now, there are usually jobs that are supposedly directly connected to what middle class is. So they're middle class jobs. Uh, I think that what is going to now be the main driver behind a person being able to actually afford a lot of things, becoming middle class income person, and so on, is going to be the ability to actually use the AI and be the
Okay.
ability to actually understand what is behind the things that are around us. Because I wanted to actually talk about people who don't understand, because there is a lot of them who don't understand how the deep faking works, how faking works, how AIs work, and so on. And it is becoming an epidemic because people still believe that whatever they see is true, because nobody could make this thing up.
Hmm.
And there was a video that I sent you today about me with me drinking cola, that basically nightmare fuel.
Superimposed me as doing something. Yes.
Yes, nightmare fuel that a colleague of ours did. But the thing is that things that are happening actually make uh, they're the same thing that happened when people got introduced to spam.
Okay.
So when first uh, let's say workers that were outside of IT learned about how the spam works and how the spam actually is able to get things from you, they had to relearn what they knew. They had to
Hmm.
relearn not to think that every mail is true. They had to relearn to understand where they're getting the information from, and so on. I think that right now what is happening is that people need to relearn how to understand and perceive the reality that they're being surrounded with.
And you think the AI is a solution to that?
No, no, no. I don't think that the AI is a solution to that. I think that the AI is going to be the thing that we are going to value people over. So if you are able to understand how
Okay.
the AI functions, and if you are able to understand what are the results of the AI functioning, you are going to be a better worker.
So you're basically talking about, I don't know, sixth industrial revolution based on AI.
Yes.
Hmm. Interesting idea. So it used to be that people who are capable of producing cars, or as a metaphor for something, in the product line, that was one of the, let's say, key drivers or key turning points in the industrial revolution. You think that the AI is going to do the same?
Yes, but not only this, but the AI is going to be the additional skill that is going to be completely necessary for a person to become productive.
Okay, I understand where we're going with this at least a bit, but I see more than a few problems with this, so that's going to be an interesting discussion.
Yes, so I'm waiting.
I was waiting for a long time for you to become your philosophical self. It's been a while, by the way. Welcome back. Um, AI requires way too much knowledge in terms of technology and how it works to realistically become something that you can rationally analyze. That's the first starting point of my discussion. The second one is that the proliferation of AIs has already divided the market in so many parts that it's questionable whether or not that is sustainable. Uh, in brackets, my comment is that it's not. Thing number three, represented by a computer that I'm currently using. AI PCs are going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Nobody's buying them. Nobody cares at all. Not only laptops, desktop PCs as well. And I don't know if you noticed a couple of days ago there was that very interesting discussion in one of the Facebook groups that you're a member of about people finding these sorts of PCs for less than 400 euros on eBay en masse and stuff like that. So that's just one other fuel to the thing that I said. Furthermore, uh, in order for that to be true, we have to have something to, I suppose, oppose it to, in a sense. If we are talking about reality, reality needs to be driven by, rational thought and not necessarily the fake news and whatnot. If you're going in that direction in terms of getting real news without the cloud of too many emotions or politics being drawn into it, and only rational things, that's a very questionable let's say topic to use AI for. But I'm not saying that it's impossible. Do you have any other ideas about this, or am I missing something completely?
I think that we still haven't reached the core of the argument. I think that the biggest
Okay.
problem is that yes, you are correct when you think that AI is going to transform everything, while at the same time people are not interested in AI by itself.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the screenshot that I sent you from this was from Marky Brownlee, the AI-enabled screen protector.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this is what I think about AI,
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
AI has turned into basically marketing drivel with that has to be there on the packaging for absolutely zero reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the year 2K scare? And
Of
then you
course.
suddenly got year 2K floppies, year 2K mouse, year 2K keyboards, and so on and so on. I
Mm-hmm.
think that AI is basically the same when it comes to how it is perceived by the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are
Okay.
scared about AI, because people are scared about the AI. Nobody actually understands what the AI is capable of, and they're misusing it in a pretty significant number of ways without actually using it for good. And I had a discussion today with the person we were talking about. She's working as basically a secretary. So she's an assistant. She's a senior assistant and a secretary to a pretty senior person in public service. And she said that she has a problem with AI now
Okay.
because she doesn't like the results of what AI is giving her when it comes to texts
Okay.
because they look the same. It's easily identifiable as AI. People can see that this is AI, and she's much more capable of actually writing the concise text with herself. But she has a problem because her colleagues don't let her do that because what they say is that if it doesn't look like it's done by AI, then why did she even write it? Because it is expected that it needs to look like AI because everybody is using AI now, so it needs to be concise as the if the AI did it.
All
So
capitalized letters and shit like that.
yes, so the AI has become a metric by which the texts are being graded, and this is completely and utterly wrong.
Okay. I actually recently read something which kind of goes along with your point. I think it was McKinsey's research. Not that I think that their researches are, be all end all for everybody in the world, but I think I read that they did some kind of a search across Europe and US, if I remember correctly, on executive level, and most executive level people said that they are now finding um, close to what you were saying. So critical thinking, data literacy, and AI fluency, something that's much more valuable than having any kind of a title, basically skill over titles, which has been around the block, especially in IT, for many, many years now. This is not a new approach to the topic of, let's say, employment. And now more than ever, what we usually refer to as the digital skills, whatever those may be. Is it writing a text? Is it browsing the internet? Is it, creating some kind of a document by using an AI tool? Is definitely becoming more and more important for basically everything because people do want to communicate in a digital sense, by using emails and whatnot. But at the same time, they don't want to be overburdened by the job of it all. Um, For me, that kind of goes along with the human nature. That's why engineering sciences exist, to invent new stuff so that it becomes easier for people to do stuff. But at the same time, my main concern, I'm pretty sure that you have the same one, is that in order for that to be something that's doable on a large scale, a tool that significantly changes something needs to be up to a certain level, which it's nowhere near being at that level. For
M-
even for generalized stuff.
but it is reaching that level, which is not. I'm not going to say that it has reached it, but it is reaching that level. It is uh, getting useful in some parts of the endeavors that I do. But the thing is that there was an article, and I actually need to find the citation for this because this was is a heavy one. Editors from the some of the biggest papers or the biggest journals out there, for example, Lancet, um, because let me step back into today.
Okay.
Current official who is in charge of health in the United States is the Kennedy Jr., whatever. And he said that he's going to actually get a ban on scientists publishing in papers like Lancet
Okay.
because he thinks that they said that right now they have no way of actually contributing to science. And the other thing that he says that they are under influence of big pharma, whatever. Let's not talk about the conspiracy theories behind this. But the
Hmm.
thing about them actually saying this stems from an article or a discussion between different editors from the Lancet Journal of Medicine and a couple of other big papers, big journals, about how they have a huge problem with grading and understanding and trying to replicate the research behind articles.
Okay.
Because it is so easy to use AI to make up stuff, to basically make the data fit the conclusion instead of the other way around, that they have no normal or a useful way of actually testing everything. So reviewing papers has become a huge problem. And they said that this could even be a problem that is going to threaten the actual existence of journals. And if you take this into consideration, being able to at least understand where the AI is good or bad, depending on how you look at it, and being able to actually understand what are the repercussions of using AI in, for example, scientific publishing,
Hmm.
gives an edge. So I think that having the ability to use the AI and understand the AI is going to be an essential skill. Something like statistics.
Okay. Okay. This is definitely a related topic. Maybe I'm a little bit more involved in this part of the scientific process than you are, although you are going to be there as well very, very soon. And I just finished reviewing a couple of papers yesterday or the day before, something, and I did close to 40 of them in the past 6 months, and I've seen a lot of stuff related to this, which is the whole. This is the reason why, when you are being asked to review a paper for somebody, if it's a decent enough publication or it's some publication from the big names, Springers, Elsevier's of the world and whatnot. This is why you have to, for some of them, you have to actually attend the course and pass it and pass an exam, like ACM, for example. And most of them do have very detailed AI policies, and it is strictly written in all of them that AI is forbidden for use in any kind of in any part of the reviewing process.
Yes, but the thing is that what we are dealing here with here is that when it comes to trying to understand uh, the effects of AI on a particular piece of work that you do, whatever that work may be, if you are not in a field of work that requires only you to do something manual. So if it's anything that has any contact with some sort of content being created, you are going to have you're going to need additional skills in order to be able to actually do this stuff with this.
Okay.
And
One
this is
other
this
thing
is
that,
yes.
okay. One other thing that I wanted to add to that story. Generally speaking, work as a workload, as jobs that we do, work related to the jobs is fragmenting quite a bit, and it's not exactly something that's new. So automation and platforms have kind of hollowed out a lot of these mid-class, mid-income roles. And what's nowadays expanding, especially if you use the example of IT, are the jobs that are not routine problem solving, troubleshooting with technology and whatnot. Although those jobs can also be held by AI, but still require things that are not necessarily something that AI can just read from the documentation or something like that. So this has been happening for quite a while. AI is just a new automation or orchestration tool for the current era. I'm not trying to say that this is in any way, shape, or form diminishing the influence that it has on real life and people. I understand that, and I have a lot of empathy for it as well. And on the other hand, we're all just all going to have to live with that in some way.
Yes, but right now we have turned a problem that we already had with always read the documents that you are signing before you sign them
Hmm.
into what if the documents were created by a person who didn't read them?
Hmm.
So, because the main problem with AI is that people who are around us, because we are dealing with people who are, I wouldn't say more intelligent, but more into understanding how AI works and what the problems with AI could be. And now,
Okay.
what is happening is that when those people are using AI to generate something, let's say a
Hmm.
legal contract, they're going to be first. They are going to be some sort of attorney even before they start, because they are not going to delve into creating legal documents without actually understanding the law. And then when AI actually creates something, they're going to read through it and understand what the problems are.
Hmm.
What is bothering me right now is that there is going to be a lot of people who are just going to say, okay, now AI is much smarter. Let me be my own doctor, lawyer, um, whatever. And they're
People
going
have
to
been
be,
doing that for decades.
yes, but it was much, 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 much harder to create a convincing document before now, because right now you could create a convincing document that can go and go through, let's say, light scrutiny, and it could probably fool a person who is not concentrated on the document. So
Hmm.
the level of concentration and level of knowledge for people who are going to be in things, who are going to be dealing with the different things that we are working with, is going to be much, much, much more higher if they want to be able to discern AI generated documents and documents that actually make sense. Because in the end, I guess in half a year, everything is going to be AI generated in some way or form. Because there
You
is
think?
going to be a big button in the Word that's going to say, make this document better. And everybody is going to push it.
Yes, because we are people at the end of the day.
No, it's simply because I don't want to see errors in my documents. And what the AI does is that I don't see the grammatical errors and I don't see syntax errors.
Hmm.
And logical errors, which are going to get introduced by AI, are going to be so far between that nobody's going to see them. But
Because
they're going to be
everybody's going to
huge.
do the diagonal reading if so.
Yes. So now, if you have a document, and this is a thing of perception, if you have a document written by somebody who doesn't understand what he's talking about,
Hmm.
you usually combining the syntax, combining the vocabulary, combining the grammatical structure, and combining the ideas inside it, you can get an idea if this person actually created something that makes sense.
Hmm.
Now the AI is going to put the polish on it So everything is going to be a polished. I'm not going to go more into this, but everything is going to be just a polished thing. And then you are going to have a huge problem discerning things that actually make sense, the things that are apparently making sense, but are in no way or form publishable.
Do you think that because of that, a lot of the text that you're talking about doesn't really matter if it's publishing journal papers or writing emails or whatnot, that the mediocre level of all of those contents is going to go up, and then average of it is going to be exactly the same?
No, I'm going to. I think that the mediocrity is going to go up, but
Yes.
the quality of an average text is going to be better. But
Okay.
let's now talk about quality. What I mean by quality, I
Hmm?
don't mean quality as quality of the logical thinking behind it or quality of the arguments, but actual quality of the text. We are going to completely lose the text that we are making fun of, that I don't know, lack words, the text that lack sentences that are written completely nonsensical and so on, because the AI is going to just, as I said, polish it, make it publishable. It
Fill
is
in the
not going to make
blanks.
sense, but it is
Hmm.
going to actually be a body of text that you can actually read. And this is a problem, because
Did
this
you?
is going to require a whole new subset of understanding what the text should be and what AI is capable of doing to the text, so that you can actually strip away the part of that AI did.
Hence the reason why traditional approaches to many things are so important. As I'm sure you've heard the saying, traditions are experiments that worked. That's why they're called traditions and that's why they stayed around. Basically, the traditional way of reading, writing the documents and whatnot is probably going to become even more important or long term. For the time being, maybe on the short or midterm run, it's going to disappear completely. That's what I see.
I'm not too sure, because Uh, I will, if I just go right now, if I just go and went and did the old school journal paper written on my own without any AI involvement,
Hmm.
I would be probably considered medieval, because this would be said. They would said, okay, but you could have done this with AI. You could have finished this. You could have made sense that the things work. And as you said, AI is explicitly forbidden when it comes to writing the paper, but
No, no,
it's
no.
explicit.
Refereeing, not writing.
There are papers that actually had. I'm going to find. I need to find the sources, but I'm going to try to cite them. Um, I read about the one of the papers. I don't remember which one, but there is a short list of them because they are the top papers. Said that if you want to write use AI to write the paper,
Hmm.
you first need to mention it, and
Yes,
also uh, AI must not be involved in any data creation,
yes,
and it's not to be used for any data analysis, and
yes.
not for writing of any sort of abstract and or um, uh,
Conclusion based on data, for
conclusion.
example. Yeah.
But they are strongly suggesting you use AI for editing to make the actual paper easier for the editors to use.
Hmm.
Because editing for structure actually makes sense when it comes to AI. If the AI does not change the contents of the paper itself.
Which it does. I tested that a lot of times. It's just not all that valuable in that sense. But for searching for papers or topics or books or something, it is. Slightly off topic, slightly, still related to the topic. Did you see the latest Louis Rossman video?
Which one?
The latest one was about VPN Secure, basically a company that got bought by another company. About
No. Okay. No.
it's
No.
a
No. I didn't.
VPN based. Basically, the topic of the episode is VPN Secure writes gaslighting email apology email by using ChatGPT, which I'm pretty sure he's right about. After revoking lifetime access post the buyout, you know.
Okay.
Because what has been happening. Those are the topics that he cares about, and he's right to care about those, and so do we. I mean, license agreements, stuff that you signed, as you mentioned previously, are something that shouldn't be just a piece of crap on the paper. It's something that should be actually binding and whatnot. But
Okay, but this is a new thing that is right now quite fashionable when it comes to people who are buying new companies.
mhm.
There was a VMware there is a VMware right now. There is a huge lawsuit between Broadcom customers and customers who actually bought perpetual licenses, because you probably didn't see you did see it, the one when
Yes,
they're suing the people who are using newer versions of the
yeah,
newer
of
version of
the
the
yeah
system
VC or
than what
whatnot.
they actually bought, the one they bought.
Yeah, because their support expired whatnot months ago.
No, but from what I may be wrong, and I'm saying this because I may actually be wrong, is that the crux of it is that if you bought something with perpetual license, let's say 3 years ago, and then since you had the perpetual subscription, you could have used updates. But what they are saying is that you shouldn't have used the updates after the date that you actually bought it.
No,
So,
no, after the subscription ended.
okay, okay, so I am wrong.
No, no, no. Actually, there are two nuances here that we can discuss. One, does that mean that you cannot access the updates for the current version of the product that you bought via subscription, or are there newer versions, like major versions, involved? Because those are two slightly different things. But I think, if I read the subtext correctly of that, and I might have to go back and reread that, I think that what they were saying is, generally speaking, because you're not paying for support anymore, which I think perhaps was one-sidedly terminated by Broadcom as well. This is something that we need to look into if we're going to discuss it. But I think that their contract was terminated, and they shouldn't access even the old versions of the software with the updates posted up to that point or something like that. I don't know. We need to look into this because it would be normal not to be able to use version 9 of something that you paid subscription for version 6 and then stopped paying for the subscription before version 9 came out. That should be normal, I think.
Yes, but this is the thing that we are going to be dealing a lot with in the
Yeah.
next couple of years, because I think that uh, in the exact moment when the people got completely tired of subscriptions, a lot of big companies finally decided that subscriptions are the way to go. And
Yes.
right now, the market is moving in the opposite direction from the vendors, and this is basically becoming hilarious.
And they're just doubling down behind subscriptions.
Yes, and the thing is that they're also rewriting the rules that they actually put on, and so on and so on and so on. But the thing is that I'm not going to say that this thing matters, because this is not the what we are talking about in this episode. But the thing that what actually matters is that uh, all of this is going to come in two different flavors.
Okay.
Let's say our discussion now about law and the lawsuits and everything else. This is going to be served in a flavor that is going to be heavily AI redacted for people who
Hmm.
want to just get the results. So, quote unquote, the short,
Outcome.
no, no, the
Sh-
short, too long didn't read version. And in the version that is going to require you to actually go through the entirety of the documents and say, okay, I'm going to actually understand what is happening here. Because everybody, including the lawyers, right now is
mhm,
using the AI to summarize the documents.
mhm.
And summarization can be different.
Oh,
There is
yes.
a difference between models, there is a difference between nuances, there is a difference when good lawyers are writing papers, because there could be a difference in a single word that the AI may completely overlook. And
Hmm.
this is going to be a huge thing. So suddenly we are back to a good lawyer is going to be the one using AI, and the best lawyer is going to be the one who knows when not to use the AI.
Exactly. I agree with this. Although, if you're talking about that specific, let's say, part of the professional world, they've had templates for a lot of the documentation that they use to send stuff to court and whatnot on CDs and DVDs for decades. You know that
Yes,
very
but
well. We
those,
have
but
that as well.
those,
But those have been written by real people, and there
and
are
then vetted and re-vetted and retested
correct
and reread and so on and so on. But the
and
thing is that
updated as well through the
yes,
years
but
and whatnot.
yes, but what we need to we can use the examples from the thing that is the closest to us. Right now, I was trying to do some coding using ChatGPT or a derivative of ChatGPT a couple of days ago, and it actually took me hour and a half for something that I could have written probably in a half an hour, or maybe an hour, because I just wanted to go along and see how wrong the ChatGPT coding is going to be.
Hmm.
And when you said that this particular profession has the templates, we also have the had templates or have templates. We call them
Hmm.
libraries,
Hmm.
and those libraries are written by people who actually know what they're doing.
Hmm.
Now the new thing is that ChatGPT and the coding helpers or assistants, whatever they're called, are going to
Copilot.
no, but assistants. This is the new name. So all the different assistants are going to try to avoid using different libraries, but instead, for some reason, they're going to try to create their own libraries based on whatever you need, and then
Hmm.
they are going to more or less reinvent the wheel every time that you need to write something.
Okay.
So suddenly you are getting stuck with um, much worse versions of the libraries that you would use anyways, but they're basically bad carbon prints, so bad
Hmm.
copies. And this is not the fun thing to have. Now, as I said, a normal developer is going to understand what the difference is. It is going to be able to say, okay, enough with this. I'm going to reuse the library that I know how to use. I'm going to completely disregard this part of the AI garbage that was generated. But the average or below average developer is just going to stick with, okay, this is what AI gave me. It compiles. Let's ship it and forget about it.
Do you think that we could generalize that, like, mathematical induction version of your theorem that you just said? Average people are just going to use it, and the less than average people who are very good at what they do and who want to be the best at what they do are going to know when to use the AI tool and how much and when not. Is that
Yes,
the
and
is that
the
the division that you're
generalization.
talking about?
And the generalization is going to be that they're going to get more money, so they are going to become the actual middle class of the working class.
I have a good news for you. That's actually
Yes.
good for us because both of us like AI, but like also crapping on AI when the time comes and when the moment is right and when the AI produces stupid results. And then when we talk to students, we are perfectly capable of, in most of the situations that we end up with, we are perfectly capable of telling students, stop using that crap, it's giving you crap, try to do it in a different way. Basically, we are the critical thinkers in that part of the job. Does that mean that we are going to get rich and have much more money?
Probably not, but
Would be cool, huh?
this yes, it would be cool, but you don't know that yet. I was talking to students about the exams for that we are preparing for the end of the semester, and I
Hmm.
asked them, "Do you want me to prepare the exam that is going to be completely AI proof, and you are going to have complete control over whatever you want to do with AI? You can, but it is going to be a little bit harder on you because when AI is involved in the coding, I expect you to be able to actually control the workflow or something that is more complex than just write a single function."
Hmm.
And you know what they said?
Mm.
That they're more or less agreeing on not using the AI at all. If this means that they're going to see how the exam is going to look like in advance, so
Which they're
they are
not.
yes, but they're prepared to see what the questions should look like. So the example question should look like. If this makes and then give up on using AI, if the alternative is for me to use the AI to generate the questions,
Interesting.
because they are afraid of what AI is capable of doing.
That's very interesting. I'm going to take that as an input for the exams that I'm going to create.
Yes and no. This is the intention that they had.
Oh, I'm getting all sorts of evil ideas.
Okay. Anyways, let's finish this thing that is slowly becoming a huge thing about AI, and let's say that we are mostly agreeing on this.
Yep, I don't see the reason why not to, because whatever the differences between our approaches to some topics might be, AI is something that we both appreciate, maybe not necessarily for the same reasons, but end up in very similar, let's say, playgrounds with. But our advantage, at least for the jobs that I do, that we do, the stuff that we do, is having a lot of experience from prior decades of learning about it. So for us it can be a helpful tool, while we can be critical of it and not use the stuff that we obviously know are false.
The only thing that I completely hate AI for
Okay.
is how it completely broke the search engines on the internet.
Yes, I agree. Everybody's talking about it.
Google is completely a useless. Bing is even more useless than it used to be.
That's weird.
Uh, yes, because right now it used to be that you got barely relevant results in the top and then completely irrelevant results below this. Now you have an A generated drivel on the top, and then you get barely relevant or not relevant at all results under it. So you actually need to scroll down for the barely relevant results. Now, the Google is for some reason going into the same territory.
Hmm.
And I'm completely failing to understand why.
I don't
I
know.
like
Sign of
the
the
what
times.
I like the what the Google is doing right now, but this is the topic for another episode. Let's now finish this thing up. I'm Yasmin. He's veteran. He's away, and we'll see you next time in the next episode when I think that I'm going to try to make you talk about um, what is right now happening on the mobile phones when it comes to AI. But as I said, this is a topic for another episode later on. See
Okay.
you next time, and thank you.
Thanks. Bye.